What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So there was a video that I did a couple of weeks ago on Too Raw for Sports, where I was telling my subscribers, at least from my perspective, that it's difficult at times to compare eras, and it's foolhardy to compare someone's numbers, especially from, let's say, the late 90s when basketball was totally different in how it was played and executed, and comparing it to today. The average score during the 99 season, the average team scored about 91 points a game, compared to this year where the last time I looked at it, it's approaching 115 points a game. I mean, it's just insane to do that. So I took Karl Malone's numbers that year when he won the MVP. He averaged about 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. And I remember when I put them in comparison to the pace of today, he was averaging over 29 points a game, 11 rebounds, and over 5 assists per contest, which goes to show you how this era is inflating scoring. And I wasn't even putting into the equation efficiency, meaning that he may have taken fewer shots to get those points, or perhaps if he took as many shots as he did back then, maybe his score would be even higher because he'd make a higher percentage of his field goals because the defensive resistance is much lower. But anyway, someone told me Karl Malone couldn't play in today's NBA because he was 35 years old at the time and he couldn't play at the pace of today's league. And I was totally floored when this person said that. Totally floored because, first of all, it's funny saying that a guy that was the MVP of a season and led a team to the best record along with the Spurs, 37-13, would somehow struggle in today's league. And you don't know Karl Malone. The man had one of the most infamous workout regimens in the history of the game. I mean, his endurance level was insane. This is a man that, out of the 19 years that he played in the NBA, he only had 2 seasons where he played fewer than 80 games. You can't get a guy to play 80 games nowadays. But anyway, I found an article where Frank Layden, who coached Karl Malone and John Stockton for many years in Utah before Jerry Sloan took over, talked about how no one worked harder than the mailman. I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. And he talked about how Karl Malone wished there was more than 82 games in a season. Frank Layden said, this was back in 1988, Karl wishes there was 200 games a year. And one of the things that I remember about Karl Malone, from watching him play, the guy never really seemed to get tired. Even into his late 30s, he was averaging 36, 37 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get tired. And the fact that he was in such great conditioning is one of the reasons why he was able to score nearly 37,000 points in his career. And had he wanted to, he could have broken Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. He could have done it. He just lost the passion for the game when his mother passed away. His mother passed away 1 month after he signed with the Lakers. And, Karl Malone thinks that him not being totally into that season because loss of his mother led to him hurting his knee. And ultimately, they did go to the finals against the Detroit Pistons, but they lost. That's a team that had him and Gary Payton on it. Now, the next offseason, I think this was like July or August of 2004, he did meet with the Spurs. And he thought about it. He thought about signing with them. But ultimately, he just didn't feel right without his mother being there. He retired. But it was not because he didn't have anything left in the tank. He wasn't the Karl Malone in his prime anymore. He was 40. But he could still play the game. And, matter of fact, I believe he was going to turn 41. But he could still play the game. He still could get you probably 16 and 8 or 9. And what's ironic about that is that year the Spurs won a championship. So you have to wonder, if he had to come back, would he have won that elusive championship? Probably. But yeah, I don't put this article for you guys to read. The man, matter of fact, all these great players, they thrived on playing basketball. They got stronger. They were able to play on both sides of the court. So when someone sits up there and tells me, oh, Karl Malone would struggle, not Karl Malone. Now, if you say Shaq with the Lakers, I'm more inclined to believe that because of his bulk and lack of conditioning in many ways. But Karl Malone, the man who had at one point 5% body fat? No, you don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Tell me what you guys think.